Well, we've got a lot of stocks that are going to be in focus today, and we have our market expert, Hemang Jani, who joins us on the show. Hi, Hemang. Good morning and good to see you win. Hemang, we have got these project financing norms that are out now, and they're not as bad as feared in the draft, which will be good news for a few stocks, BFC, REC, IRDA as well. What's your view and your view on the stocks as well?
Yeah, good morning, Nigel. Thanks for having me. So clearly, the norms have come as a bit of a positive surprise, and I think there is going to be a big relief for corporate lenders, especially PSU banks and infra NBFCs. And this eases concerns over the cost overruns, the potential pullback of funding. So if you read that in line with what the RBI has done in terms of easing liquidity, by CRR cut and the repo rate cut, this is certainly going to be a big positive and a relief for some of the project financiers, be it the PSUs like REC, PFC, or IRDA, or maybe many more companies, because I think the liquidity and the ability to do business at these terms would be much better for these companies compared to what the draft guidelines were.
Okay, all right, got that. So that's out of the way. Let's focus on Sun TV. There's a spat taking place at the promoter level. The company is valued very, very attractively because it's got the IPL franchise in there. They're sitting on solid cash as well. And yet it's been such a big underperformer. What's your view? Today the stock is likely to see a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. Going by the valuations, the business as well, would you jump in to buy, or would you say there's no much clarity on what they'll do with that cash next, so you'd rather stay away?
So, Nigel, I think first time, there is a public fallout between the members of the Maran family. So, of course, there is going to be a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. We don't know the magnitude of the issue and how exactly it's going to pan out. But when you look at Sun TV, it has always, had this kind of a cash, very high operating profit margin. But the way the entire this OTT and the, digital disruption is at play, we do not see Sun as somebody who's really been able to, come out with any innovative solution to that disruption thing. Even numbers, if you look at the last 2 or 3 quarters, have not been that, encouraging. So not really, being positive of this name. I would certainly stay away, even if the stocks, let's say, correct another 3-5%.
I guess you might have been able to hear most of that conversation. Always a hot area, right? And lots of opportunity. The narrative is obviously very strong. The question is, you have to buy the right kind of stock at the right price. So do you see anything out there?
Absolutely, Surbhi. I think both in India and globally, the way the geopolitics is panning out, there is going to be a significant opportunity in upgrades by, majority of the countries, be it Europe, US, Middle East, and of course, Asia. So, of course, India, we have seen that, post Operation Sindoor also, there has been a good amount of interest. And we do like Bharat Electronics and HL at this point. And when I look at the overall, revenue that they are generating from defense, about $3 to $4 billion, versus that, if you see some global defense companies, Lockheed Martin or RTX Corporation, Northern Grumman, the spend is about, $40 to $60 billion. So I think the opportunity size is very large. And given the upgrade that is going to happen, there is definitely going to be an interest over there.
Let's ask Hemang for some ideas. Hemang, so this week has been all about taking profits from your mid-caps that are working, right? Mid-cap index is down 2%, small cap is down, micro-cap index is down almost 3%. Tell us, in this environment, uncertainty, all that aside, any interesting stock ideas?
So, I think we've seen a significant correction across the mid-cap names, as you rightly said, mid-caps and small caps. So, within that, I think something like Swiggy, Eternal, these are the names which have really remained quite resilient. And when we look at the performance, the competitive intensity, and the fact that Swiggy, the QC business is quoting at a, almost about 85% discount to a Blinkit. So I do think that, some of these platform companies offer great opportunity. And from a short-term results perspective, we do think the IT, could surprise positively, particularly something like Infosys or HCL Tech, Coforge. So purely from a quarterly numbers perspective, we would have a positive view on some of the IT names.
Yeah, positive on IT names. So that's coming through. By the way, Hemang, just a quick word, right? Yesterday, the mid and small caps sold off so aggressively. Almost actually 2% on both mid and small cap indices. Anything you picked up out there in terms of chatter? What was driving it?
I think, Prashant, because of the way the block deals are happening and the liquidity is being sucked out, you would see the pressure on the less liquid names. So I think it was part of that. I don't think there is anything specific as a concern. Of course, if the crude remains at an elevated levels, you would see a bit of negative for our markets. But I'm not reading anything specific for the mid cap and small cap names at this point of time.
I got that. The retail names have all been in focus, and names like Vishal Megamart, etc., quite a bit, particularly so. Do you have coverage on? Have you looked at Vishal Megamart as a stock?
No, not looked at that, but I do think that whenever you have such a big stake sale, I mean, I'm really surprised as to why such a a huge, almost about 20% or thereabouts, the promoters are selling at this point of time. And the company did the fundraise or the IPO very recently, so that really surprises me. I'm not really a big fan of companies where the promoters are selling a significant stake, and I try to find a value there. But I think trend certainly, if you see some correction over there post the analyst made, that would certainly be one stock that I would be positive on.
But then if promoter selling stake is an exclusion criterion, you'll have to exclude lots of stuff because most promoters are, right?
What I meant is, Prashant, significant, like a small 1-2% stake is something that one can really understand.
Point taken. The other one was Dream Folks, and I think we'd highlighted this yesterday. Stock ended 10% lower. The news, of course, was that their Dream Folks, after service disruptions, banks like ICICI, Axis, etc., are looking to move away from Dream Folks. Any thoughts if you have coverage? Again, not a very old listing.
Definitely, this news came as a major negative surprise. I don't know exactly what were the reasons for the disruption, but I think there is a lot of excitement around any of these service providers, and sometimes the valuations are stretched. So whenever you have this kind of a negative surprise, the stock will correct. Not looked at Dream Folks in detail, so no real view over there.
Okay. All right, Hemang, good to have you on the show this morning. Thanks very much for all the inputs. Appreciate you being with us today.